Welcome back to Golden Flashes fans. We're talking some ball with the head ball coach, Sean Lewis. Coach, it's a senior week. It is MAC championship week. It is Thanksgiving week. There's a lot going on here, but let's start with a 25-man and counting senior class. This has got to be a special group to you, kind of a hybrid group of guys that you retained, guys you brought in, but more importantly, guys that stayed.
Yeah, I think what you said last there kind of says it all, right? There are guys, there are a group of guys, group of young men that decided to stay to see this thing through. And through everything, they've been here since the beginning. The majority of these guys have been here since day one and are the big reason why Flash Fast football at Kent State is on the map. I mean, they are a resilient group, a group of high character, and a group that all along the way has done everything in their power to become the best versions of themselves in all areas of their life. And we're super excited to see how they play this weekend, to honor them this weekend, to continue to have more time with them, hopefully in Detroit and in the bowl game down the road. But most importantly, to continue to have a relationship with them, for as long as the good Lord lets us keep walking this earth all together, to see all the great things that they're going to do as future husbands, fathers, and professionals, and whatever that might be, because I know they're all destined for greatness. And, us and our staff, and certainly our university and our program, are significantly better off because of having all of them around. And, could keep going on and on. We could spend the whole time on this show talking about them and what they've meant to us, and how thankful I am for them, and humbled, just to get the opportunity to serve them, and that they've been role models for my children and all the children, that they get to interact with on a daily basis. It's really been phenomenal.
We always have them fill out a quick questionnaire about some of their info for senior day. And two things obviously always stand out amongst that group is, one, the friendships that they always kind of talk about as some of their great memories. And you obviously preach on that, because the games are always going to become greater and greater as the stories and the years go on, but the friendships are going to stay the same. So that one's always an underlying thing that they're going to remember. And doing what you did last Saturday, beating the school down the road. Those are some lasting memories that those guys are creating. And I just love that was a very significant repeating theme among all these gentlemen.
That's awesome. I mean, that's great to hear, right? I mean, to do the high level things that we've done, that requires a deep level of connection, a deep level of trust, and deep friendships and relationships. And I mean, these guys have embodied that. And as far as bringing the wheel home and keeping it home, I mean, these are the guys in 2019 that, did exactly that. They got it back here, and it stayed here, and will continue to stay here for many, many years to come because of what they've done and the foundation that they've laid. And I know they'll always come back the same way that we had guys back on the stadium, on the boundary with us last week. Those guys will come back, and it'll be a really good reminder for the guys who are currently on the team, whenever that is, about how important that it is that thing stays home. And again, the bonds and the connections that this beautiful game causes and creates and forges, through all that we go through together.
We're talking some ball with Coach Sean Lewis. Our segment here this afternoon brought to you, of course, by our good friends at Bud Light. But Coach, the task at hand, the assignment, if you will, is to beat Miami. And obviously that is our key word today. So if you want some free tickets to Saturday, all you got to do is email our fine ticket director, that is Andrew Hammond, and simply say, beat Miami. That's athletictickets@kent.edu. 2 tickets on the house, courtesy, I'm going to say, of you, Sean Lewis. How's that sound?
Sounds great. We got to get as many people there. So email, flood the inbox, and let's pack Dick Stadium for a great senior class and a fabulous game against 2 talented teams, 2 well-coached teams. That's going to be a really physical fight come Saturday.
So again, that's athletictickets@kent.edu. The code word is beat Miami. We'll have another kind of a way to drop in and get some tickets as we kind of soldier on here. But Coach, it seems to be, just looking at the numbers, obviously numbers tell the story, at least from a 20,000 foot perspective. And it's the immovable object versus the unstoppable force when it talks about your run game versus their run defense. Just what do they do to kind of just disrupt and cause havoc against oppositions?
Yeah, I mean, they've done a fabulous job. I mean, there's really only been 2 teams all year that have had any sort of significant level of success rushing the ball against them. And one's the number 4 team in the country in Cincinnati, and the other one, I believe, is the number 1 rushing team in the country in Army. Everyone else has been held, I think, under 150 yards, and majority of them have been held under 100 yards because of how well they execute their scheme. They do a fabulous job of their front six, their down four, and their two inside linebackers work as a unit as cohesively well as anyone that I've seen. They are well prepared and well coached. They understand tendencies. They understand backfield sets and alignments, so they can play fast. There's probably been more plays I've seen on tape this week preparing for these guys where you see the backers talking and communicating and they're calling out pullers or where the ball's going before the ball is snapped. And then, they're shot out of cannons to come downhill. And then they show up with bad intentions. I mean, their Mike linebacker, number 0, Pace. He is built for car crashes and he loves contact. And he's a good football player, right? He's one of the guys that I'm going to find after the game and shake his hand and say, man, you do it the right way. He's got that blue collar mindset. He kind of grabs his face mask and you can tell he cranks back on the chin strap to tighten it up a little bit more before every snap. And he's looking to get some and he does it the right way. So, they play hard. They play fast. They play cohesive. They don't do a whole lot. And, I say that with all kindness because I think simplicity wins and they get reps and reps and reps and reps at doing what they do. And it's a good sound scheme that allows their players to go play fast, hard, and physical. And, the results have been very good for them.
So the counter to that, is it just flash fast? Is it spread them out, try to not let them rotate, try to not let them get comfortable? I mean, shoot, you said that a service academy was able to run against them. Well, you're the top non-service academy running the football. So you've got that feather in your cap.
We do. I mean, our guys take great pride in running the ball, and obviously that needs to be a part of who we are. It's always going to be, that's a part of our identity. And we got to do a great job executing ourselves, right? So I think the biggest thing with it all is seeing the front, seeing what they do, communicating together, and then executing with great fundamentals. They're, again, a well-coached team with great fundamentals and with great talent. We're a well-coached team with great fundamentals and great talent. There's going to be some plays that look great. There's going to be some plays that aren't going to be so good. That's the ebb and the flow of this game. And we probably got to be a little bit more multidimensional than what we've been last week. We threw the ball 13, 15 times last week because we couldn't impose our will, play a little bully ball against our rivals. I don't foresee this game going that way. So luckily, we got a good quarterback that can spin it. We got a pretty talented wide receiver core and tight ends that can catch it. And we got to be efficient with however we decide, to go, whether it is run or pass, or, we might experiment with these things called run pass options this week and see how that works out for us.
We're familiar in watching the flash fast way, but on the other side of the ball, they can pitch it a little bit too. They've got a quarterback with a pretty famous last name that is coming into his own, and I think Jack Sorensen has caught 3 or 4 more passes as you and I are talking.
Absolutely,
they've got a good thing cooking on the other side too.
Yeah, they really do. I know a lot's going to be made, obviously about our offense, which is top 12 in the country, their defense, which is top 40 in the country. But on the flip side of it, as you alluded to, their offense is multidimensional. They got a stable of backs that, whoever it is has the ability to hurt you in a lot of different ways. They have a big old offensive line that Coach Martin and his staff have done a great job recruiting to over the past 9 years as he's built his program and obviously won 1 championship already with this style of play. The quarterback, Gabbert, has made a name for himself in his own way, won a championship as a true freshman, which just shows you kind of the character that he has, the resiliency that he has. And the Sorensen kid is a Chicagoland kid that I've known about for a very long time. And at this point in the season, to have over 1,200 yards receiving, he's very, very talented. So, they've had our full attention all week. They've had a few extra days to prepare for us, which always presents some unique challenges as well. I know they'll be ready. I know our kids will be ready in all 3 phases. It's going to be a really good football game late here in November at Dick Stadium. And what more could you ask for?
You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, everything on that to-do list that you allude to is still right out there in front of you. Moving to Detroit, winning the MAC, playing in a high-level bowl game. I mean, it's all right there.
Exactly right. We've accomplished and we're well on our way. Goal number 1 with our guys graduating and doing great things is always an everyday process, right? But the real tangible football goals, we checked off a huge one last week by bringing the wagon wheel back home. And as you just mentioned, right, the opportunity to punch the ticket to Detroit and win the East is right here in front of us. Everything that we've been working towards for the past 4 years, day in and day out, to improve and to reach our full potential is right here, right now. So we need to bring our A game, so to speak, right? And show up and perform on Saturday. Luckily, we got a few more days to prepare prior to then to really refine the plan and get locked into the details. Kind of the beauty of Thanksgiving break here. We'll take some time to celebrate with the family, but it's kind of cool with our guys not having class. They can pour a little bit more into the prep. And, told them this morning when we got off the field that, shoot, this is a playing game. Everyone wants to be a pro. Well, you get the opportunity to prepare like a pro because there's not a whole lot of distractions right now without school and different things like that, to where you can really hone in on the plan and attack this thing the right way to be at your best on Saturday. And, I believe our best will be better than their best, and we'll be all right.
There we go. Now, obviously, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the holidays. So how is the Flash Fast family and the Lewis family going to give thanks and celebrate?
Yeah, it's always pretty special when you get an opportunity to practice on Thanksgiving. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning. And then when we get done, we'll have a Flash Fast Thanksgiving brunch at one of our local spots here, because our community is awesome and they do a great job of making sure our kids are treated really, really well. So I'm going to do that. When all gets said and done, then, the Lewises will have our Thanksgiving fun at home. We got some people coming in, obviously, for the game, and probably kick my feet up a little bit, watch a little Egg Bowl action, and just be dad, be a college football fan. And then we'll turn the page to Friday. And while everyone else is chasing deals or doing whatever normal people do in the real world, we'll get right back into the preparation and have a great Friday to put forth a great effort on Saturday.
Now, we've gone through this song and dance before, but what is obviously Turkey's going to take up a portion of the plate. What's covering the rest of Coach's Turkey Day feast, if you will?
Yep. So there's got to be a few staples. I'm a starch guy. I saw a quote earlier in the week that Coach Belichick's a big starch guy too. So I'm going to steal his line that whatever form of potato is out there on the table, that's going to be on the plate. You got to check the boxes with the meat and the potatoes, right? I'm a big green bean casserole guy. I love those little, I think they're like the French onion deals that go on top. That is just a whole nother level to me. Some cranberry sauce, big fan of that. So you get a little bit of the tart and the savory with everything mixed up. And then, you're going to finish it off with some sort of pie. Not too particular about that. I know there's the big debate about pumpkin, pecan, but if there's an apple pie with a little bit of vanilla ice cream, I'm going that path all day, every day.
There we go. Useless stat that probably is only interesting to me, that Campbell's invented the green bean casserole, and now it accounts for like 50% of their canned soup sales, through the year. It's a go-to.
I love that useless information, man. That's good stuff. I will share that knowledge at Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. So
there we go. There we go. A little nugget of conversation there. And then obviously our Flashes fans are paying attention. You can email Athletic Tickets, talk about what Coach is waxing poetic on is how to properly build a Thanksgiving Day platter. We'll also get you some tickets.
There you go. Love it.
So, Coach, best of luck. Let's talk. Hopefully, we're talking about a big time trip to Detroit come in a few hours from now. And man, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. I appreciate you carving out some time on this championship week for the East to talk a little bit here with us.
Yeah, no problem, Dan. Thank you for all that you do, and thanks for all that you do for the university, man. You do a ton. And we're really grateful for all that you do for our football program. And so I hope you and your family have a great Thanksgiving as well. Okay.
Hey, likewise, man. We'll see you on Saturday, and best of luck.
Thanks, Dan.
Welcome back, Golden Flashes fans. It's time to talk a little bit of the defensive side of the ball with defensive coordinator CJ Cox. Our segment today is brought to you by Hungry Howie's. After you digest all that Turkey Day stuff, if you're in the mood for some pizza, just mention Kent State, get $2 off that next deal, plus some free crazy bread. That sounds awful good coming as a little change of pace off the Turkey Day. But Coach, first and foremost, that's one heck of a debut there, sir. Congratulations. First shutout against the Zips since 1949, first road shutout since 1974. First one and done for you. Congratulations, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate it. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just me, it's our It's our defensive staff. It's our kids that went out there and played their tails off, ran to the football, and they made the plays within the white lines. And just working with the guys on our staff, just make sure we put a plan in place that allows our kids to play fast and where they know where they're supposed to be, so they can know fast and they can play fast and make the plays when they present themselves.
Well, fast was kind of an understatement there. You guys were reckless and chaotic, and I mean that in the nicest way, in the way possible. They had, I think, a couple of drives that got into plus territory, but when that field kind of shrunk down, when they were driving to tie the game at 7, you guys really kind of bowed up and brought some pressure and really made Gibson and the offense uncomfortable.
Yeah. We got to a point to where our backs were against the wall, and we wanted to dial something up to kind of get them out of field goal range. So we brought the guys that really enjoy blitzing, that are effective blitzers. And you see Nico Bolden coming off the edge there. There's a play within the game when we brought Marvin as well. So we're just, bringing the guys that, and allowing them to do what they do best. And so they did a good job for us.
Well, obviously, we'll talk a little bit about CJ and his big game, but like you mentioned, you had Nico who did it, that knocked it, that kind of disrupted their one trip into the end zone. And then I thought Marvin's sack right off of that surprise onside kick really took any wind out of their sails that they would have gotten from what could have been let's be honest with what it was. They were trying to grab momentum and to start that second half, and Marvin and you guys wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah. And actually, before Marvin got the sack, they were driving on us a little bit. They got in 12 personnel, had some success early on. And just like you said, when Marvin got that sack, he took the wind out of their sails, and it put them in second or third and long. And after that, we allowed our defensive front to kind of pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And obviously they did a good job with that as well.
And let's wrap these things up about the last week's game with just CJ West. I know that his success is a product of obviously a little bit of the scheme, but the guys around him. But my goodness, what did he come in and just violently disrupt that game?
Yeah. Well, and CJ had a damn good game, but it also goes back to Coach Farrell developing that kid for years and years and years. And, with Coach Farrell and Coach Stalker, just coming up with ideas and just ways to get our defensive front in a static front, playing, in gaps and allowing them to get off the line of scrimmage and get off the ball and really exploiting those one-on-one matchups. CJ did a really good job against those guards and those centers. And so, yeah, he did a good job, really good job. He was violent, he was disruptive, and that makes our jobs easier in the back end.
Well, I know it is you're obviously your first season here, but it is senior day for a number of the guys on your side of the ball. Just what has that group kind of meant to you as you have come into Kent now, ascended into the defensive coordinator position? Just some of those guys have been stalwarts of this defense for not just this year, but several years in their Kent State careers.
Yeah. I mean, they mean everything. When I got the opportunity to be the interim DC here, like Manny, Elvis, Zay, those guys, they came up to me and they said, Coach, I got your back, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure, we get the guys right. They're running to the football. We're going to be bought in and ready to go. And as they go, the rest of the group follows. And so it's been huge. It's been really cool. What I've tried to do this week is after practice or before a team period, I've had one of the seniors talk to the group just to get them going before team period, so they're running to the ball, so they have a voice. We want to make sure the seniors have a voice. I want to make sure our defensive coaches have a voice, so they're talking to the group, so they're not just hearing me. Because when we talk about being a family, it's all of us together. So we all walk as one. We are one. But again, just allowing those seniors to have a voice, to lead from the front. It's been everything. It's been huge. And that's the reason why we were able to play the way we did last week. Not just because of me, but because of our kids and because of our defense staff.
We're talking with defensive coordinator CJ Cox here on the Countdown to Kickoff and the Kent State Coaches Show. Let's talk a little bit about the task at hand, battling for the East. That's got to be pretty exciting when everything that you guys have set out to do is still laid right there in front of you, but a talented Redhawks squad looks back at you on the other side.
Yeah. They're a talented group. I think their quarterback is really, what makes him go. I mean, he's a talented football kid. He's a 6-footer. He's got a live arm. I don't know if he necessarily scrambles or run. He scrambles or throw. He creates with his feet. He's got good pocket presence. And they got really, really good receivers on the outside. You're talking about Sorensen, who's, been playing at a high level in this league for a long time. They got a transfer from Penn State. I want to say his name is Hippenhammer, number 8. And then they also have another kid, number 14, who's, he's not very big, but he can go, he can fly. And so you're talking about a really, really talented group on the outside. And then they have, 3 running backs that they use. It's more of a running back by committee outfit. And they just, they give you different looks. You're talking about they major in 4 or 5 different personnel groups. So they're going to give you different looks, motions, shifts. And they're not going to do the same thing over and over and over again. So we got to make sure we're dialed in. We make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's, so we're sounding everything that they show us. And to be honest with you, their tight ends are good players as well. They have 2 or 3 of them that they use. One's more of a bigger body, but I would say he's a bigger receiver more than anything in number 88. And, their offensive linemen, they're gritty. They're big boys. They play hard. They'll get after you. They're athletic. They can run. So we'll have our hands full. But we're looking forward to it, and we're looking for opportunity to play those guys.
Well, when you look at a team that is going to try to mix it up, never give you the same look twice, is it just, from my novice perspective, is it just as simple as recognizing the formation and then kind of associating that formation with limiting it? They're going to run X, Y, or Z play out of that, and just assignment football based off of just kind of recognizing what they're doing as they step up to the line.
Yeah. I think if we can identify, and there's really 4 personnel groups. When you're talking about 11 personnel and you're talking about 21 ponies personnel, those 2 are the same. You get the same formations, but it all depends on what they want to do out of that. Same thing goes for 12 and 22 ponies personnel. Those are essentially the same personnel groups, and they line up in the same formations. So if you can identify the formation, you can probably figure out what you're going to get. But it just all comes down to formation recognition, film study. Are our kids locked into that? Can they identify it within 1 to 2 seconds and know what's coming and what's happening? Because again, it goes back to different personnel groups. They'll dress it up, they'll motion, they'll shift just to get back to the same picture. So it's all window dressing, but if they can identify it, talking about our kids, in 2 to 3 seconds, we should be in great shape.
We're talking with defensive coordinator CJ Cox ahead of the big game against Miami. And Coach, obviously it is a Thanksgiving week. I'm curious as to what is a tradition in the Cox household, either growing up or something that you kind of developed as Coach Lou said, more often than not, a football player or a football coach is usually pretty busy with business as usual on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I would say growing up as a kid, we would always get together as a group, just all my buddies, and we would go up to the Halford field right down the road from my mom and dad's house, and we would have a turkey bowl. We would play tackle football. And that's what we would always do, always up until I was like 17 years old. And then when I went off to college, we were playing. So, we would just get together as a team, eat Thanksgiving dinner, and then we just go back home. Never really got a chance to go see my mom and my dad or fly back to Dallas or anything like that. And it's the same now. I'm going to have the cornerbacks over just so we can, break bread together and sit down and watch football. But other than that, I really don't have much of a tradition as of late.
Well, Coach, is there a go-to? Obviously, the turkey is going to take up some real estate on the plate. But
Yeah.
what are the other go-tos as you're building this Thanksgiving Day feast?
Well, I'd say you got to go with mac and cheese. You got to go with some type of stuffing. You have to go with sweet potato pie. Let's see, what else? Mashed potatoes. Let's see.
Going green bean casserole, cranberries,
yeah.
anything like that?
Oh yeah, no cranberries, but green bean casserole. And I would say you have to let's see, what am I missing right now? I feel like I'm missing something right now.
You've hit on pretty much every staple right now. I mean, you've got the
Yeah,
starch and
that's it.
stuffing and the potatoes. You got the green bean casserole.
Oh,
You
yeah.
went sweet potato pie. Now, is that dessert, or are you going with like that casserole with the marshmallows as part of the dinner course?
Oh, yeah. That's dessert. Sweet potato
Okay.
pie, that's dessert for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
You're making me hungry, Coach. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a phenomenal feast. I will let you guys get back to the game planning and have a fantastic Thanksgiving with your family, with the Flash Fast family, and then it sounds like a great time breaking down some, whether it's the Egg Bowl or some NFL Turkey Day football with the defensive backs. That sounds like a good day to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach CJ Cox joining us as part of the Coaches Show and the countdown to kickoff. Coach, happy Thanksgiving. Best of luck as we try to capture the East.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.